Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Taylor Jones. And do you have any idea what time it is? Well, if you don't, then prepare yourselves because it's going to be the coldest winter yet, as in season 6 of Cold Man's Winter. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Taylor Jones, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, TC Jones Edits, as well as another long-awaited episode of Cold Man's Winter Season 6. For those that didn't check out my last episode, don't be ashamed because the link will be in the description bar down below. But man, you have to forgive me for sounding like this because sinus is kicking butt right now, and I try my very best to sound clear. You know what I'm saying? But I talked a lot about topics, real life topics, when it came to dealing with hardships. And for those that recalled, the School of Hard Knocks parts 1 through 3, followed by my latest episode, Leadership, I meant every word, especially the part of Trump, Donald Trump, President Trump, and the way he has been disrespecting Zelensky. But I'm not going to get started with an argument with all the MAGA fans. I'm not doing that. Sorry. It's hard to speak when you're stuffed up. But yeah. So yeah, I just thought about all the words that I said last week about being a leader and what to be aware of. So what do I want to talk about right now? Well, for episode 11, I want to dive into something that we all familiar with. And for those that don't know what I'm referring to, here's one word that should stay in your mind. Revenge. Now, when it comes to dealing with revenge, you see it happen all the time. You even had vengeance thoughts. I used to have vengeful thoughts, and I still do, but still, you got to remember, vengeance is the Lord's, according to the Holy Bible, and an old saying, revenge is a dish best served cold. But why is that why is that important? Why is that why is that possible? Because people mistake they mislead themselves to a situation where they wanted to get even. They wanted to get back the big payback, as James Brown would say. But I don't know. It's just crazy because when it comes to getting revenge, let me tell you, you're gonna regret every last moment because revenge, it really causes you to be like more powerful. People think that having revenge is gonna make you like the king, the queen, or you be respected or feared, loved by some, hated by many, but feared by the few. But for real, you really think that revenge is gonna get you anywhere in life? No, not me. Not I. I don't believe that because, like in the end of Menace to Society, Eilena's cousin got revenge on Kane for jumping him. Him and an old dog got a little taste of kicking Eilena's cousin's behind. But in the end, Eilena's cousin and his homeboys, they ended up doing a drive-by. Because it used to be a thing. Somebody fights at first, there will be some blood, there will be some bruises. But the guy who got defeated in a fight last time went way too extreme. 9 millimeters, Tech 9s, Uzi, shotguns, drive-bys. Too much. Even women could do that. Especially Like some people, they get revenge because of what went down, and they end up getting away with murder. Nobody stopping the person responsible for having a vengeful plot. You know what I'm saying? Menace Society was a perfect example. Colors was another example when it came to the Bloods and Crips. But there was a Latino gang, the 21st Street Gang. The Bloods actually shot up the party, and Rico Suave's character on Colors, he explained who did the drive-by. I saw who it was, man. It was Rocket, Dogman, and Shooter. Rocket screwed the Crips, say they die. So later on, the 21st Street, the Latino gang, they ended up driving to Rocket and the Crip DeVille's hangout. Two cars had to drive from different park in different corners. And Frog and Rico Suave, they actually went to the door. The door was open. One Crip was by the door. Frog pulled the trigger, killed him. Meanwhile, Rico Suave, he dropped a grenade inside the hangout, and all the Crips ran for their lives, not knowing that they were trapped, getting murdered by the Latino gang. And after the Crip gang was murdered and the place was destroyed by a bomb, a grenade, Rocket came out shooting, and the guys, one part of the 21st gang, they got into an automobile. One car left the scene, but Rocket shot at the back of the window, so nobody was hit. Meanwhile, the other car that was like on the street, where Frog and Rico Suave, they ended up getting back in, but there was a black guy who was part of the 21st Street gang, Larry. Larry had his Uzi, kneeling down. Rocket was kneeling down, aiming his Uzi. Rocket shot Larry, Larry shot Rocket. They both die. So, 21st Street, they lost one member. And then they just bounced. The Crip DeVilles were destroyed, murdered, and only one casualty from the 21st Street gang ended up dead alongside with the Crips. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, they were celebrating, nowhere to be seen, but unfortunately, the police broke it up. Frog and the 21st Street gang, they ended up getting arrested. However, Rico Suave, with his girlfriend aside him, they were not so lucky because Rico Suave shot Robert Duvall's character, Hodges, and Sean Penn, Pac-Man, and some other cops. They shot back at Rico Suave, killing him and his girlfriend, who was also a gang member of the 21st Street gang. Y'all know the movie. She died. Two gang members responsible for killing a Crip gang in retaliation for shooting at them at a party. You know how messed up revenge can be? It's like, take this example. No, I gave you an example from movies, but this is a real life example. Imagine if a female had the nerve to ridicule a man, like, for instance, they were dating, but she was like too impressive, too sexy that everybody wants her attention. Like even even the man was like, you know what, I can't take this. But because of how embarrassing he felt, because he had a superstar, and she of course her attitude was really messed up because let's just say that she was like bossy, like a Paris Hilton type of girl or Kim Kardashian type. You see, the guy got so mad, right? So mad that he decided enough is enough and he had to put his 2 cents in. And he decided, you know what, I'm tired. So one day, there was a big party going, heading its way, like a big party going down. And the star, his his popular girlfriend, saying that she needs a favor from him and to buy some drinks. Drinks? Really? And let's just say that the man decided, you know what? Screw that. Why don't you do it your dang self? Because I'm done with you. You want to get high and drunk? That's on you. Wait until the cops pull you over for DUI. What do you say about that? Why don't you call your other girlfriends and do that? I'm going to the party alone. So he dumps her, trying to clear his mind, and, of course, trying to find somebody real. Man, I'm sorry. This sinus thing is killing me right now. And you can hear my nose like loading up a gun or a warning sign like, dude, you really need to take medicine. But I tell you this. The guy went to the party all by himself, left the girlfriend alone, dumped her, and let's just say that he found a woman who was in the same situation that he was. And she was a die-hard Boston Bruins type fan, rocking the Boston Bruins jersey, black hockey jersey with the yellow and white stripes on the sleeves. She wore a denim skirt. She wore one hoop earring on the largest hoop earring on one of her ears and a cross earring on the other ear. Hair all the way down. Let your hair down. Curly, black. And let's just say that she rocked leg high black leather boots with stiletto heels. Pointy toe black leather boots with stiletto heels. And like the party took place at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock on a Friday night at an old abandoned building that some random guys came up with and called it Nunya, which is obviously a joke, a reference to none your dang business. So at the Nunya spot, The DJ was playing some fly tunes, old school and new, hip hop, R&B, and there was one song that got on the girl's attention, the Boston Bruins girl attention, and let's just say that when she heard the song playing, the song's played absolutely normal, but all of a sudden the DJ messed around and like slowed it down, as in chopped and screwed, you know what I'm saying? So the dude who broke up with his popular girlfriend, he was walking around trying to get a drink, but he wasn't drinking alcohol. He was drinking some, let's just say that he had some brisk, like the one I'm drinking. But the brisk was fruit punch. So the brisk that I'm drinking now is pink because it's strawberry melon. I love brisk, by the way. And shoot, if I had to make a commercial for that, I'm down with that. Hashtag brisk. But while he was getting a drink of brisk, the fruit punch, let's just say that the female that was the Boston Bruins fan got a brisk too. And she got a blood orange brisk. They they were the dude was drinking, she was drinking, and they were sober. And they just met each other, talked to each other for a short period of time. And when the guy saw her in person, Boston Bruins girl, he had a vision that it's like speaking to A. Marie, because the DJ actually played A. Marie's "Why Don't We Fall in Love," and of course he remembers the video because the Boston Bruins girl kind of reminded him of A. Marie in the video, like at the city park on the bench and out in the parking lot. No, out in front of a building with a gate on it in front. Like, wow. A. Marie dressed in orange, hair down, hoop earrings, hoop earring on one side, another earring on the other. But Boston Bruins girl decided to talk to him and asked the guy who was in the same situation that she was, couldn't stand the person she was with and broke up, to dance with the guy who broke up with his popular girlfriend. And yes, let's just say when that happened, the girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend, who was like a popular star, when everybody was looking at her like, dang, look at that. She got a fat butt, or just looking at her from head to toe. And let's just say she and her girlfriends were actually dressed up like Escape from Just Kicking It. Combat booties, baggy clothes, baggy pants, long long t-shirts, vests. Some wore Loke sunglasses. Two of them wore Lokes because they were cool. One of them wore a bandana. Meanwhile, the ex-girlfriend wore a ball cap. And she spotted her ex-boyfriend dancing with Boston Bruins girl. drinking brisk, fruit punch and blood orange, drinking brisk, overcoming their breakups to becoming somewhat the talk of the town, right? And let's just say, while they were dancing, another song just started to play, and Boston Bruins girls like, come on, why don't we go some go take a picture? Sure, sure. I see that the cameraman's ready. So yeah, they went to take a picture, but the ex-girlfriend actually he didn't want that to happen. Hey, hey, come here. What what are you doing? Well, the question is, what the heck are you doing? Yeah, you better answer him because well, you better answer her because you ain't get away with her this time. Oh, and you're supposed to back her up? Isn't it obvious? I told you we're through. I'm tired of doing favors. Y'all, you didn't love me. You just love to take advantage of me. I'm tired of being your sugar daddy. You the one that got a lot of people looking at you when they supposed to mind their business. So now you come to Nunya just to stop me. Oh wait, I forgot. You got the beers, you got the weed. So why you coming to get me? Because this is personal, double crosser. And if anybody's supposed to take a picture with you, it ought to be me. And Boston Bruins fans like, no. I'm afraid that's not going to happen. And besides, you want to get revenge? You got another thing coming. Matter of fact, you need to take that mess outside. Oh, well, says Miss Sober, Miss Avery look-alike double-crosser here. Listen here, heifer. This is my man. And if you got a problem with it, you can tell it to my friends. And when she said that, the guy's ex-girlfriend said that, trying to be hardcore, the DJ actually ended up playing Gangster Chick by Apache. And everybody looked around like, uh-oh, what's going on? And the ladies that dressed up alongside of the ex-girlfriend pulled out their nines. They all have a 9mm gun, a pistol. One was a Taurus, the other one was a Beretta, and one was like a Desert Eagle. So what did the ex-girlfriend have? If not a 9mm gun, a 357 revolver, Magnum revolver that is. She aimed it at the dude's chin. Now, get your two-time and tail over there and take a picture with me. And the other girls, they actually ended up with their guns aimed at Miss Boston Bruins fan. Because revenge is what she wanted. Because to her, rule number one, never leave her. But it was her fault. Her appearance caused her to end up lonely. Her attitude caused her to end up lonely. But now, it's kind of like Lynn Whitfield and her girlfriends against Martin Lawrence, trying to take advantage of him with a 9mm gun. So that made Boston Bruins girl more like Regina King's character on the thin line between love and hate. But yo, I would choose Mia over Brandy. Trust me. But I may be wrong with Regina King's character's name, but it doesn't matter. But what matters is when Gangsta Chick by Apache played, the ex-girlfriend who's the talk of the town, she got a gun, and she demanded the cameraman to take a picture of her and him right now. Otherwise, he's gonna get it too. So, and because of that, one girl, where wore a bandana, she followed the leader of the pack and aimed a gun at the cameraman. But little did they know, they were actually spotted by some partygoers who were actually undercover. And let's just say that one of the partygoers tried to smooth talk his way in, try to get one of the gangster chicks. Hey, I like what you did there with the cameraman. Try to show who's tough. Hey, who is you? My name is Tyrone, and I feel like you need a dance. Oh, for real? So one of the gangster girls fell for the trap. Really? Meanwhile, the other two girls with the low sunglasses, they held Boston Bruins fan hostage. Guns aimed at her, holding her, guns in one hand, holding the arm, holding Boston Bruins fans arm, dressed like A. Marie from Why Don't We Fall in Love video, making sure that she suffers alongside with the guy who broke up with the so-called Kim Kardashian. And not to mention, one of the partygoers had the gangster girl hooked, dancing. Oh, I have one more thing. Now I have to confess. So I'm not your average everyday type guy. Oh, me neither. So they played it off. But matter of fact, the party goer slash undercover cop was so smooth that the undercover cop slash party goer was so smooth, he came up with the idea to get the number from one of the gangsters. But so she gave him her number first, and the guy gave him his number, as in 911. Wait a minute. Oh, 911. Wait a minute. What does this mean? That's right. You're under arrest for murder. You're under arrest. Under arrest? But when she screamed under arrest, the gangster girls, including the ex-girlfriend who had the Boston Bruins guy, the Boston Bruins female hostage, and the guy who broke up with the popular girl, they spotted when she screamed out loud and saw her getting handcuffed by the other party goers who were actually cops, undercover cops. 3 undercover cops grabbed one girl, and Tyrone actually said, "Move in now." And more cops coming in the party. All right, nobody make a move. Move, the party is over. One of the guys turned the lights on and shot in the air. Boom, boom. Come on, get out of here. Everybody was screaming, "Oh, no. Oh, gosh, no." Even the DJ was like, not yet, DJ. if you want to go, if you want to get out of here, I want you to play a song. Play a song. And what song do you want me to play? Well, so the cop that told the DJ to play him a song, he actually whispered it. The DJ's like, "Oh yeah, this song is dedicated to Mrs. Boston Bruins fan coming." And when he dedicated that song to her, that was because the cop knew her. The cops knew her, and for her to be a hostage, including the ex boyfriend of the popular girl. Look, one of the girls got arrested. The bad girls got arrested. The other cop spotted what went down. The place was abandoned, and the place was illegal to throw a party. They found the weed, stash of weed, pounds of weed, grams of weed, whatever. They found the weed and alcohol. But they already figured out that some of the party goers were underage, like teenagers. But the other kids that were there, they knew that they had to stay sober. No alcohol. No alcohol in their system, no weed in their system, but some, they want to switch it up a notch, kick it up a notch. Rebels. So what was the song that the DJ played? The DJ played the Almighty RSO's Hellbound, with the same sample that Busta Rhymes and the leaders of the new school, Ella and Ness, used for Sob Story from an old western, but to make it more scary. Because, okay, the gangster chicks were taken over with guns. They got two hostages, one at a sign of revenge. But one of the gangster girls was tricked by the undercover cop, and the two other undercover cops behind her handcuffed her and held her hostage, like walked her to the van. And yes, the other they they were looking for the others. So Hellbound was playing. The ex-girlfriend ended up getting so mad. Oh heck no! I ain't having this. This. And the cameraman actually pulled out a gun, aimed at her head. Say cheese, witch. Yeah, that's right. Say cheese, witch. Yeah, that's right. You're under arrest. So the ex-girlfriend, the so-called Kim Kardashian, that planned to get revenge on her boyfriend for dumping her because he had enough of her bullcrap. She ended up getting handcuffed, sent to the car, and sent to the van. And the girls who held Miss Boston Bruins fan hostage with guns, they were asked to drop their guns and surrender. The two girls with the Loke sunglasses dropped their guns, handcuffed, sent to the van, and all the girls were driven away to the police station because their revenge plot turned out as a complete failure. And that's one example of revenge that we got to prevent. Because revenge can be can be deadly to all mankind. And we don't want that. Not for kids, not for older folks. It's just stupid. Meanwhile, the undercover cop asks, one of the undercover cops asks the guy if he's good. And the cameraman actually he asked the Boston Bruins fan, the one that looked like A. Marie. Let's just say that let's just say that they answered, "Oh yes, we're good." How'd you know about this? Well, when people say a woman, well, like my mom said, you gotta be aware of a woman, especially after dumping her. You never know when you're about to experience a woman scorned. A woman scorned, yeah. It's a good thing that one of the undercover cops knew about it because afterwards, after the scenario was over, the place was shut down because the party was closed. Illegal illegal substances of drugs and alcohol, underage partygoers, but some partygoers knew that they were going to stay away from the alcohol and the weed. But who was responsible for bringing the drugs and the alcohol besides the gangster girls and the ex-girlfriend as the leader? So the guy and the Boston Bruins fan, they actually walked out knowing that they have to go home. But instead, as a surprise, why don't we go home together? What do you mean? Listen, I am. I actually moved here in town, and I've been seeing you every day. Wait a minute. You're my next door neighbor. That exactly. So, at the end of the night, she held the guy's hand, cause like I said, they were both lonely. They both were fed up with their relationships turning sour. They both dumped their exes. They met at a party, and they were next door neighbors. Wow. So, like in reference to the Romeo Must Die ending, the Boston Bruins fan that looked like A. Marie, dressed up like A. Marie from Why Don't We Fall in Love, to walk and confess, because at the party they did confess, like know each other in a one night stand, like one night only, and then they're spotted walking home. She held his hand, the guy's hand, and then all of a sudden they wrapped their arms around each other's shoulder. Put your head on my shoulder. You know, just walking. The same way that the late Aaliyah and Jet Li walked. Come on, let's go. And that's like the end of the movie. And the undercover cops were actually rewarded for putting an end to the Nunya spot, Nunya dang business spot, to prevent negative, illegal things happening. Because first off, who had an idea to throw a party? Who was responsible for the Nunya spot? An old abandoned spot that should have been demolished and or used for personal personal places. I mean for investments. It turns out the people responsible for having an old abandoned building to be a spot, a party spot, the club spot. It was the ex-girlfriend. And she and her crew, they had to pay the biggest price. So instead of going to jail and for being underage, like junior to senior year in high school, man, I, this is stupid. I'm sorry, guys. I hate being sick. For real. Bear with me. But yeah, for the ex-girlfriend that's like Paris Hilton slash Kim Kardashian to come up with the idea to come up with a spot, a club spot, a hangout spot for all the teenagers to get high and drunk. Meanwhile, because of the ex, because of her ex-boyfriend that called out her bluff, like enough is enough, to tell her that she really made a big mistake. She knew she made a big mistake. She wasn't charged with anything. Well, actually, she was in trouble for the spot, an abandoned spot, which she didn't have enough money. I mean, first of all, how could she come up with a party spot for the teenagers to have drugs and alcohol and to put somebody's life in danger after a breakup? 9 millimeter guns and 3 9s and 1 revolver. Just so that, just to teach her boyfriend a lesson. Her boyfriend has been asked to do this and do that for her. To teach him a lesson. That lesson number one to her is never leave her. But he didn't care. But he didn't say a word. He just did what he had to do to survive. But we all know revenge don't last always. Just like for a revenge plot, Trump getting assassinated, it didn't work. Revenge doesn't work like that all the time. There's no such thing as good revenge. But for the guy who finally had the heart to break up with his popular girlfriend, for her to be a gangster and try to punk him with a 9 and with a Magnum 357 revolver, try to stop him from having the time of his life, and go back to the ordinary ways because he's not supposed to leave her. Rule number one. But rule number one is done. He's got a girlfriend now. His next door neighbor, also a teenager, junior to senior year, relieved. And meanwhile, the so-called ex-girlfriend and her crew, they had to go to alternative school. Alternative school to pay for the consequences. And why would they go to alternative school? Because the undercover cops made that happen. Not only that, they're going to have to pay the price for being strapped, being irresponsible, high and drunk. Nobody trusted her now. Everybody looked at the boyfriend who had enough and realized they made a mistake and they owe it to him. But he didn't care. He just moved on, knowing that if it has nothing to do with me, to leave me out of this. And now everybody's tripping over the fact that he and his next door neighbor, Miss Boston Bruins fan, are actually dating now. Because they feel relieved. And this is one thing that happens. They overcame a revenge situation where somebody was going to take them out, humiliate them. Ever since he said, you want to get high, you want to get drunk, you want to do what you want to do, that's on you. I'll be there, but I'm not going to follow your footsteps or take your advice. But he did, because he was seriously not going to say goodbye to the world, all because a gun was placed on his chin. And the picture was never even, well, actually it was. A lot of pictures were taken, but that one picture that was taken with the guy not pleased because he had a gun aimed on him, and the cameraman, who was a cop, undercover cop, had a gun aimed on him. So the ex-girlfriend had it coming. The escape crew, the so-called crew that dressed up like Escape, just kicking it, humming coming at your era. They had it coming for being strapped and for being stupid when they know they should have been sober and smarter, because they were responsible for coming up with the party, a place where they have a good night, a good time on a Friday night. But that's over with. Because guess what? If you do something that's awful, like get revenge on somebody, even if you have to avenge for somebody that you cared about, truth is, you'll never get a good night's sleep. You'll never feel calm. You'll never walk away from it. Even Ice Cube had to admit to Cuba Gooding Jr. at the end of Boys in the Hood after Morris Chestnut was murdered. Morris Chestnut, or Ricky, was murdered. Trey had an idea to get revenge and wanted Doughboy to get along with the program. But Lawrence Fishburne, furious, was not going to let Trey do something stupid. Give me the automatic gun, Trey. You're my first boy, and I ain't going to lose you to no bullcrap, you hear? But he still rolled with Doughboy till he realized that nightfall, let me out. Doe, let me out. Trey made the right decision. So Doughboy, Dookie, and Monster had to do their own dirty work. And there were Crips. 3 Crips to do a drive-by. Dookie did nothing but roll shotgun. Monster had an AK-47. He shot 3 of the Bloods, Ferris and the Knuckleheads, as the movies consider them. 3 of the Bloods were killed. 3 of the Bloods were shot. One of the Bloods with the cast on his arm, he was shot dead. The others were shot in the back of the legs. And the guy who killed Ricky, now with a skull cap on his head, he got shot in the spine. Yeah. Doughboy killed him with a 9mm. Kicked Ferris with the Chicago Bulls skull cap, and he screamed, F you! Doughboy screamed, turn your punk butt over. Ferris tried to plead that he wasn't responsible for killing him. But after saying "F you" to Doughboy, 2 gunshots. The next day, Doughboy fled the scene. Get back in the 6-4, drive off. But because of what Ice Cube did, he realized that Cuba wasn't playing. Should have been there in the first place. He didn't want all that to come back and haunt you. But in the epilogue, the next day, Doughboy saw his brother buried. 2 weeks later, he was murdered. But Trey did the right thing and stay out of the business, stay out of the ghetto, the hood mentality. And went to college in Atlanta, Georgia with Nia Long, Brandy across the way at Spelman, Morehouse and Spelman. Boys in the Hood increased the peace. But dig this, revenge always been the talk of the town, the big picture that everybody's trying to paint. And I painted it myself that even I can be my own worst enemy. Because remember, the Bible always said it best. The vengeance is the Lord's. Revenge is mine, says God Almighty. Revenge is a dish best served cold. That's true. But payback is a wuss, truth be told, says me. Do not get involved with revenge. Because there's no such thing as a good one. Nothing good about revenge. Not even after you kick some butt. You got your butt kicked, then you decide to kick their butt in return. Still not good. That was back then. Even Coolio made a song. The late Coolio made a song called "I Remember," the closing track of his 1994 solo debut album, "It Takes a Thief." He reminisces what it was like to be younger, and remembers what it was like when we used to fight in the streets, blood and bruise, and we shook hands and we still be friends. But nowadays, when he said on the Revolution in Gangsta's Paradise, back in the days, way back in the days, we used to fight them in the streets. But now when Negroes get beat, they want to go and grab their heat. Everybody knows that you know how to kill, but tell me, do you know how to let a Negro live? I got to do that, maybe one day. Neighbors can't fight, then walk away. Where's the love? Where's the truth behind revenge? Cain, after the revenge for Harold, R.I.P. to Saphir, the guy who played Harold on Menace to Society, the guys who killed him, Lorenz Tate, Tyron Turner, and MC8, Aaron Tyler, they got him in revenge. But AWACS, his face was seen, but he was in the car, a Buick. But as for Kane and O-Dog, they were in ski mask. 12-gauge shotgun killed the guy that killed Mr. Harold. Meanwhile, Kane shot at the other guy with the shotgun riding in the red van. Said, "Get the heck out, break yourself, Negro, break yourself." Shooting at him, but he was still running until AWACS got out his Buick and said, "Hey, homie, you need some help?" Boom, boom, boom. But I don't know if the car was a GNX or a Regal. But it was a Buick. But Tyron Turner said it best. "I thought killing them fools would make me feel good, but it didn't make me feel anything. I just knew I could kill somebody. But if I had to, I would do it again." But that's not what I would do. To heck with revenge. That's what I'm saying. Don't even get involved. Walk away from it. Put down the gun. Stop thinking vengeful thoughts. Stop with the FU moments. Stop with the you can kiss my butt moment. Stop trying to fight, imitate like you're fighting behind everybody's back. Stop it. And as Michael Jordan would say, stop it. Get some help. No, I would say stop it and put God first. Some Christians will say, what would Jesus do? What would Jesus do was already done. The question is, what you gonna do? What would the real you do? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, instead of thinking revenge, let it go, move on, be quiet, leave it alone. If anyone's gonna have revenge, it's gonna be the Lord's, and that day will come. But for right now, when it comes to dealing with hardships, people want to get revenge on each other over some stupid stuff. Small things, small problems, big deals. That's a no-go for me, yo. No-go for me. But revenge. There's no such thing as a good revenge. There's no such thing as getting away clean. Because the people that get away clean, they're going to have another thing coming spiritually. Because it's been said, hell is free, but heaven, you got to pay the price. So what you going to do? Would you get the big payback, or would you let it pass? Turn the other cheek. That's what I would do. And that's why I'm telling y'all now, you need to think before you get involved with some revenge. Because revenge is going to hurt you, your friends, the loved ones, even the people that you work with, go to school with, go to church with. You know what I'm saying? No revenge. No revenge, please. I'm out of here. Leave me out. With all that being said, thank you for paying real close attention to what I have to say. Because revenge is still a big controversial thing that's taking place until this day. Whether from spouse, like relationship problems, to gang violence, to jocks and bullies and taking all the nerds and geeks out. Like, come on now. This is getting too old real quick. And the Lord, He's the only one to have revenge, not the man. And with all that being said, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Click the notification bell if you haven't already, and there will be more in stores. And also, this episode, the revenge episode of Cold Man's Winter Season 6, has been brought to you by Sweet Lady of the Week. And for this sweet lady, there's one on my mind. And that sweet lady is none other than Miss Andrea Cole. And to Andrea, I never forgot about you. Keep doing what's best to make life more sweet, more powerful, more courageous. But with all that being said, stay tuned for the next episode of Cold Man's Winter. This is yours truly, Taylor Jones, signing out. Let's stop revenge before it gets out of hand.